Greetings, fellow professor. I have come to rant about Hatsune Miku. No, but in all seriousness, I will be going over Miku as a whole in great detail. I have cited my sources in a Google Doc. Please take a look at that when you get a chance.
But yeah.
Let's get started. First of all, our beloved Lord and Savior Hatsune Miku was born on August 31st, 2007. Miku was created in Japan by this company called Krypton Future Media. One of the developers, Sasaki Wataru, he was the main person who decided to, one day be like, let's create Hatsune Miku. Yeah. Now I know there's some of you who might just be asking,
how is Hatsune Miku relevant to music? She's just a virtual software.
So, funny story. Not only was Miku created from a virtual software, but this virtual software was programmed to sing. This is the part where we get introduced to Yamada, which is basically just a corporation that does audio. They're audio engineers pretty much, and they're in charge of doing the voice changes and stuff like that. So you can think of them as the Japanese audio engineers of their time.
Oopsies, they're not really Japanese.
Anyway, Yamada Corporation was founded in 1987 by Doragusu
It took me
Yamada.
at least 10 tries
Now,
to
I'm
say
not
that.
going to go too into detail about their company as a whole because, I'm going to be so thorough. I don't want to. But as far as their relevance to Miku, they're the ones who created the term Vocaloid. And basically what that just stands for is vocal android. But in terms of what it actually is, it's just a virtual software where virtual characters sing
Now,
and
Miku
stuff like
herself
that.
doesn't really come with the instruments since, after all, she's a character. So Yamada's job is basically, they focus on the synthesizers, and that's what makes Miku's voice give her that hyper-pop sound, if that makes sense.
Take this small clip as an example. Now, I can't necessarily tell if this is fan-made or not, but you can get an idea of why Miku sounds like that and how she should sound, if that makes sense. Regardless, there's a lot of depth with Vocaloid as a whole. There's many versions along with many characters, and all these characters have different types of tones to them that you can adjust in this software. Hatsune Miku just so happens to be one of those characters. As time went on, Hatsune Miku became so popular that she became Vocaloid's mascot, basically.
I mean, at least I would think so, because when someone brings up virtual singers, who's the first character you think of? Hatsune Miku, of course.
Unless you're one of those weird freaks who says Arsloid is your favorite Vocaloid.
Guys, I'm just joshing with y'all, they're all valid.
I don't even know all the Vocaloids. Anywho, I want to go back to Miku's beginnings and explain how she became to be who she became to be. I would say Yamada had somewhat trouble releasing Vocaloids. Their first two pairs, Leon and Lola, they released in 2003. They were not as popular, but for some strange reason, they still had somewhat success.
Fun fact, Japanese Vocaloids didn't become a thing till 2004.
In November of that same year, Mako was released. Oh my god, I love Mako so much! So once Yamada released her to the public, ooh, big success. I mean, not by a lot, but definitely more than the Vocaloids launched in the previous year. And now we fast forward to February 2006. Kaito was also released. Now, Kaito was also technically the first male Vocaloid to be released. Keep in mind, Hatsune Miku wasn't even thought of yet when these two first got their big break. Oh, and also, Krypton Future Media and Yamada collabed all the way back in 2002.
But in 2004 and 2006, they started releasing the products for Mako and Kaito, along with the illustrated characters and all that good jazz.
I'm pretty sure Mako was the first Vocaloid to have a anime-style design. That makes sense. Since the previous ones, I'm pretty sure they had a whole different art style. So then after Mako and Kaito debuted, Miku came along in 2007, and that's when everything changed.
Now, I would like to add, while there's hundreds of different types of Vocaloids, I'm pretty sure there's 6 main Vocaloids that everyone knows.
Or at least
loves.
some of y'all. And those Vocaloids are Mako, Kaito, Hatsune Miku, Kagame Rin, Kagame Len, and Megarin Luka. I don't even know if I pronounced that right.
I would say those are the main Vocaloids that every Vocaloid fan either knows or is introduced
Shout
to.
out to Teto and Gummy for being the icons they are.
Woo! Teto and Gummy!
Fast forward to 2008 to 2012, Miku ends up being featured in a lot of car commercials for some reason. I would say that somewhat boosts her popularity just a wee bit. Now, I would like to bring up a funky factor. I want to talk about this video from the early 2010s. Now, this is not necessarily the video that made Miku famous. However, it did bring a great impact on Vocaloid as a whole.
Not
fandom.
even just Vocaloid of virtual singers, it broke the internet. Quite literally, metaphorically, all the leads.
And then bada bing, bada boom, the video I'm talking about is the one and only Neon Cat.
Oh man, that song never gets old.
Anyways, I'm gonna play a clip of this guy elaborating on the Nyan Cat lore because he's much better at explaining it than I am. Plus, it's more entertaining in my opinion. Here's the clip.
For those who don't know about Nyan Cat, allow me to briefly give you an introduction. Back in 2011, the internet was an extremely different place. Memes were never polished, vertical videos were disliked, and if something went viral, it meant that millions upon millions of people all around the world saw it without even trying. This is exactly what happened with Nyan Cat. Simple, but unforgettable. Cat with a Pop-Tart body, flying through the endless space, and leaving behind a rainbow trail. But what really tied this all together was the music. The song that plays, and what most remember from it, is called Nyan 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 Ya, and it's being sung by Momone Momo. But that's not the useless fact here. The song that played when watching that viral video was a cover song, meaning that was not the original song. The useless fact here is that the original song, which is called Nyan 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 Ya, is sung by none other than Hatsune Miku. So once again, all roads lead to Hatsune Miku, and we didn't even realize it.
So basically what I'm trying to say is Hatsune Miku's literally everywhere.
Do you agree?
And for those people who are like,
I've never heard of Hatsune Miku.
yes you have! I feel like you could just find her in any form of media, whether it's just games, music videos, hell, even TV shows. Like Hatsune Miku is literally in TV shows too. It's not just anime. So I want to give you guys another example based on a personal story that I've experienced the other day.
So basically, I was doom scrolling on Instagram and I came across a reel, and it's China and McClain dressed as Hatsune Miku.
But the thing is, I didn't realize it was her until the comments said so that was interesting. I asked what show it was from, and then I saw on TikTok again, and I realized it's from Ant Farm.
Now, Ant Farm is a Disney Channel show that aired from like 2011 to 2014-ish, and that's its own separate thing. Anyways.
So this is around the time Miku starts getting more popular too, so it's really convenient. Literally, let me just show you the video I found on TikTok. That's it. That's literally the clip. Okay, chat, enough examples. I think you guys get that Miku appears in a lot of media. No, I should have given a disclaimer, but this video is not fully organized. I am so sorry. But I promise you there's relevance to me jumping back and forth. In this case, I'm not going to jump too far back right now. Right now, I want to jump back to 2009 talking about the Net Vocaloid services and their development. So the Net Vocaloid service launched as an SaaS or SaaS. So these guys use Hatsune Miku and another Vocaloid called Gakpoid. I think I said that right, I don't know. Yummy innovations were made once people realized they can take these Vocaloids and literally produce their own songs.
Because all of the Vocaloids really are Vocaloids 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know how many Vocaloids are there. They're just software engines, and people use them to produce their own music using these Vocaloids.
So this is kind of the format of what the Vocaloid software engine might look like. And you know, I think it's pretty cool because they have the piano, and then they'll probably have like other instruments in the settings, and you could like change your voice as much as you want and like modify literally any details to make your sound or song, whatever, sound good. To put it in more simpler terms, it's kind of like regular music production. You know, some musicians like to use a lot of overdubbing or multi-tracking to, like, those layers, they blend those layers out to make their voice sound good.
I would kind of say with Miku's productions, there's no canon way to produce Miku, if that makes sense.
I mean, at least in my opinion, this is not 100% factual. It's more opinion-based, kind of, sort of. I don't know, it's complicated. Because fans always made those speculations of how every Miku is canon, so like...
It seems really ambiguous if you ask me, because that can mean, oh, how Miku dresses, or who can wear Miku's outfits, or like how Miku sounds, who Miku can sound like, how Miku's voice can be modified, you know, etc., etc.
Yes, don't you like writing songs using a digital persona created by a multi-million-dollar company? So basically, long story short, I can make a Miku song, you can make a Miku song, everybody can make a Miku song.
Or if you're not a huge fan of Miku, there's other Vocaloids too.
As long as you had Vocaloid software, you're good to go.
Now, I would like to talk about a claim that is really popular amongst the internet, especially in this day and age.
And that, my friends, is artificial intelligence, otherwise known as AI. Now, some people will make the claims that,
Oh my gosh, Hatsune Miku is an AI-generated robot.
so like, yeah, Miku was created by a multi-million-dollar company. However, there are real-life human beings working behind the scenes.
Oh, that's such a bar.
That multi-million-dollar company being Krypton Future Media.
Not only that, Miku may be just one virtual voice bank,
but she does have a voice actor. So, Hatsune Miku is voiced by none other than Saki Fujita, the queen that she is. So if Miku is really AI,
then it would make no sense hiring a voice actress, first of all.
But yeah, Fujita practically voice acted in almost everything that Miku's in. And whatever's unofficial, well, it's up to the fans.
Thanks to the fact that pretty much anybody can use Miku's voice bank, it's created such a huge impact on Japanese and pop culture.
You know, like the examples I used earlier. I hope you all know, Nyan Cat got over 19 million views thanks to that damn cover.
With Miku's song, but barely anybody knows that. But now you do.
Speaking of Miku's songs,
as a Vocaloid fan who joined the fandom like 4 months ago, I'm still a little clueless about some stuff.
Next thing I would like to share is who owns the rights to Miku songs.
Bum, bum, bum.
So as I stated previously, a lot of Miku's songs are fan-made since she is a voice bank. However, some songs will get recognized by Krypton Future Media, and they would have like a little agreement where they can use those songs for official use. So think of it as like striking a record deal. It's basically like that, but like if the fan-made songs are really good, they turn into official songs, kind of, sort of, since Krypton Future Media owns Miku. Since there's so many diverse music producers who just love Miku and want to use Miku for their own songs, of course they get credited for like any official use, such as video games or like music videos, concerts, stuff like that.
I'll be going over each of those later.
Let's briefly talk about Miku's impact on Japanese culture, along with her huge success with merchandising and marketing. When Miku was created, it pretty much introduced so many new genres to people all over Japan. This goes for global users too, but the reason why I say Japan specifically, that's only because that's where she was created.
Now, my knowledge of 2007 is not really relevant considering I was barely born.
But from what I've seen all over the internet, this seems like the time period where like club music was starting to become a thing. I would say Miku somewhat fits that category, kind of, sort of. She's just more hyper pop, electronic pop, if that makes sense. But honestly, as we approach the later years, she expands her genres. You know, sometimes she has pop music, sometimes she has rock, EDM. Hell, she has rap songs. I wouldn't be surprised if someone made a Miku country song. Now that's the stuff I'd be bumping in my car. But yeah, fans do explore their horizons later on with her voice. Since strict genres stopped being a thing, a lot of Miku's songs started mashing up so many genres together. From the late 2010s to early 2020s, subgenres were born.
Actually, subgenres kind of started becoming a thing earlier on, but like, I feel like around that time frame, that's when more people started to experiment.
Thanks to that, Hatsune Miku became a global phenomenon overnight. Nah, I'm just joshing with you guys. But overall, besides genres attracting more listeners, I would say Miku's virtual image, how she presents herself, lack of official story, and the fact that nothing is really canon, that's what draws fans in. Because that's when we can bring the saying, Miku can be anything, to life.
And I just think that's really wholesome and very meaningful because it brings a lot of diversity to the community, which means a lot more fans can join in on the fun without being ridiculed.
For example, it doesn't matter what gender you are, it doesn't matter what race you are, hair color, hair type, age, Miku's for anybody and everybody. And I feel like that's one of the main reasons why Miku became so popular beyond Japan. But yeah, now as far as Miku's merchandising tactic, I'm gonna be so for real, I'm not a huge expert on that, but I just want to briefly talk about how these official companies, the more they release all this Miku merch, and not even just Miku, the other characters too, like, the more popular they get in a way. Well, that's somewhat self-explanatory, but there's so many ways you can get Miku merch. These ways may be from online, or attending cons, or like concerts, or any event, like any event relating to Miku or someone with Miku, you get it. You get what I'm trying to say. Anyways, the way they go about that is really cool, and it's also a cool way to reach international fans. The next thing I would like to talk about is the video games Hatsune Miku's in. The only reason why I mention these is because they're all music-related games.
I will try very hard not to go off track, but it's going to be very difficult because I love these games so much.
Especially Project Sekai. Now let's travel back to July 2nd, 2009. Krypton Future Media's partnership with Sega begins.
So technically, you could think of Hatsune Miku as Sonic's little sister.
Anyways, Project Diva was released.
Now there's many different variations of this game, whether there's like sequels or like unnecessary extra installments of the game.
But long story short, Project Diva is a rhythm game. This was Miku's first in-game appearance.
This game was released on PlayStation Portable
otherwise known as PSP. The objective's pretty simple, just play Miku songs with intense rhythm skills. So once that became a hit, Sega and Krypton released so much more games. The only other versions I could think of are Project Mirai and Project Sekai.
Project Mirai is kind of similar to Project Diva. The only difference is they're just all in chibi form now.
And then Project Sekai came along.
My favorite game in the entire world. I totally didn't spend a crap ton of money and play this game for over 100 days in a row.
Anywho, what makes this game so different from the other versions is that they added a ton of new characters with their own stories, and they're not Vocaloids, so they have natural sounding voices.
In other words, these characters do not use voice banks.
But obviously still have voice actors. One important factor is that these main characters have their own original songs within each unit.
They also have covers with certain characters too, and I prefer those more sometimes.
Some of the levels are inhumanely possible. Yeah!
Anyways, yeah, I'm not gonna go into detail because I'm gonna end up rambling for like hours and hours, but basically it's a cool rhythm game, and
long story short, I would say out of all the Hatsune Miku games, Project Sekai was the main game that helped increase Miku's popularity more than it already was. And I firmly believe the reason for that was due to the demographic being for both older fans and new fans. Therefore, older fans can play older Miku songs or new Miku songs, and new fans discovering Miku along with the main characters in that story or game, whatever. Anyways, next topic! Hatsune Miku concerts, otherwise known as Miku Expo. Which is what I'm going to see in May. Not that it's relevant, but I just thought I'd put it out there. But yeah, it's pretty much what you think it would be. A virtual concert starring Hatsune Miku performing her most iconic songs through an LED screen. The first Miku Expo took place on May 28, 2014 in Indonesia. I think that's how you pronounce it. But anyways, yeah, after Miku had her first concert, she's been performing ever since. Now back then, Miku's live performances were not always through an LED screen. She did have a hologram before. As you can see from the image here, it really does make the atmosphere more lively in a way. I mean, think about it. It creates the perfect illusion for the audience to believe that Miku's actually real and in person performing. Now, based on some ancient clips from previous concerts that I've watched, what Miku and the other Vocaloids are really doing is just singing and dancing. What's really cool about this is that a lot of Vocaloid songs that are being performed live, they're usually accompanied by other instruments, and those instruments are also being performed live.
And basically what I mean by that is that they have real-life drummers, they have real-life guitarists, etc., all performing on the stage while Miku's performing as well.
Currently, in the later years, Miku recently started using an LED screen. This is kind of what the LED screen looks like. You know, pretty self-explanatory, just a big black screen with Miku's projections on it. Now, this kind of caused a lot of fans to be very furious. And the reason for that being, well, Miku's hologram seemed more lively and seemed like more lifelike in a way compared to the LED screen. The LED screen just kind of seems like a VTuber concert. But you know what? My personal opinion, I really don't care because at least there's still live accompaniment.
Now, no offense to people who go to VTuber concerts, but I personally wouldn't spend $200 on that.
But yeah, just in general, Hatsune Miku travels globally for these concerts, you know, because international fans, making Miku accessible to all. Hooray! But yeah, I'm curious to see what Miku Expo is like from like a personal perspective. I know a lot of people dress up and it's kind of like a mini convention but like a concert at the same time. She's currently doing her Asia tour right now, and next year she's doing her North America tour. Very excited about that one. But in general, the Miku Expo is one of the many ways to discover new Miku music, connect with other fans, and learn more about the fandom as a whole. And I feel like that community has led a very lasting impact on society. Now, why, you may ask, is mainly due to her style, her image, and her way of making music. Despite of Hatsune Miku being owned by Krypton Future Media, her legacy and who she is today is all thanks to the fans. The fans produce music with her voice, and some of the songs were popular enough to get noticed by the official company. The fans have many headcanons for Miku, and not only that, they have so many different versions of her created from their minds as well. And overall, I just think that's what makes Hatsune Miku so unique as an artist. It's the overall diversity, the creativity, and the big giant community that comes along with it. There's this virtual futuristic image to her.
But based on the concepts of Miku and why she was created, and as far as how, like, that side of Miku seems to be very human.
To some people, she may just be a software, but to other people, she's this
very influential artist
who can sing in multiple languages at that.
And the fact that she's just pretty much for anybody with no specific image,
That's how she gained most of her popularity, because her content is basically for almost all ages. Hatsune Miku is loved by all.
But anyways, yeah.
Thank you for listening to me yap about my special interest for 20 minutes. I tried my very hardest to get to all the key points in this video.
Anyways, yeah, long live Miku.